You guys, I am on such a Sangiovese kick lately. I spent several weeks last year in Tuscany and just was blown away by the versatility of this grape, which is, of course, found all over the region, everywhere from Montalcino, where you have your Rosso di Montalcinos, which is what we have here, and Brunello di Montalcinos, to Chianti. There's so many ways that this grape can be made, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And I think it's perfect for an episode featuring Chef Troy George of Michelin-starred Temperance in Chicago. We are doing an epic meat night with Chef and talking about all things steak. So, is Wagyu really worth it? How should you cook it? What are the things to know? And are there any faux pas? So, of course, we wanted to find a great wine to pair with it. And while Napa Cab or Bordeaux might have been an obvious choice, we actually wanted to do something a little bit different since we're talking about something that you could do on the weeknight. And so a Rosso di Montalcino definitely came to mind. Rosso di Montalcino, for those of you who maybe are a little bit unfamiliar, this is actually all Sangiovese coming from the region of Montalcino, and this is sort of your baby version of Brunello. I love this because this expression of Sangiovese, unlike Chianti, is a little bit beefier, a little bit more robust. It's from the Sangiovese Grosso clone, so it's got a little bit more intensity to it. And even on the nose, like you can smell this like sort of meatiness going on. I'm doing this in my Zalto Bordeaux, and I think any glass Burgundy to Bordeaux kind of works with Sangiovese. I think when you're in Brunello territory, like we are tonight, even though this is a Rosso, you could definitely go with a Bordeaux, but I think either is sort of acceptable. I love this wine because on the nose, it's giving you so much fruit. It definitely leans in that tart cherry, which Sangiovese tends to do, but it's also giving you a lot of those savory herbs that I love. As this wine opens, though, what you're going to notice is it's going to give you a lot of other things, and you should definitely give this wine a little bit of time to breathe. You don't have to decant it if you don't want to. Just pull the cork, let it sit in bottle or in glass, your choice, and just sort of watch it evolve. And I would even maybe take it one step further and consider watching it evolve over the course of 1 or 2 days. I love enjoying this during the week when I just want maybe one glass, maybe one white, one red. I pull the cork and I can have this with a delicious meal. So, like I said, on the nose, you're going to notice all that great, really tart cherry, all those savory herbs and spices, a little bit of that meatiness. Hopefully, you get what I'm saying. It's sort of like iron laden. I love it because it reminds me of like a freshly cut steak. But then on the palate, it's super deceiving, right? Initially, you get into it and you're like, oh, that's kind of light and refreshing, but there's so much intensity there. There's tannin and there's acid, and there's like this muscular structure going on. And as this wine opens, it's just going to continue to dive down that rabbit hole of structure and intensity. And that's sort of the name of the game with these wines. So don't be deceived on that first sip if you're like, ooh, this is maybe a little lighter than I want. Just give it some time, 15, 20 minutes. It's going to start to open up a little bit and fill out, beef up, and be that perfect wine to go with your steak. Now, on the steak front, having been a sommelier at a steakhouse for a little bit of time, I will tell you, even though we only serve Napa Valley wines, I definitely hid a few Italian gems in our cellar because I knew how good they are with different cuts of steak. So in this episode, we talk about all the different cuts of steak that would work really well with this. And I think for me, it's definitely the more marbled cuts, your ribeyes, your New York strips. We talk about Wagyu, but you should definitely check out the episode to see what we decide to pair with that because it's not red wine. Check out the episode for that. Anyway, we love doing these fattier cut meats because this has so much tannin and so much acidity. And when you talk about steak and wine pairing 101, the thing that you need to have is acidity to match the fat and tannin to match the animal protein. So you want a really nice balance of that because they sort of cancel each other out in a weird way. And this wine has that in spades without being too overwhelming. I think when you're talking about a fattier cut where that ratio gets a little bit higher of fat to animal protein, that's where you really want to skew up on your acidity. And that's what we're doing right here with this wine. You can feel already like as it's layering, it starts to build. Those tannins are really stealthy. So be aware that they're definitely there. This is not a light-bodied wine, but I find for myself, Sangiovese has really been a grape that I've fallen in love with over the last year. And I think a lot of it has to do with visiting the region, but so much of it has to do with pairing it with food. Now, beyond steak, you can do so many other things with this wine. This is, to me, Italian night. You're ordering from the restaurant, you're getting lasagna, bolognese, anything that has those great sort of meaty red sauces, your ragouts. All of that stuff is going to work really well with Sangiovese, whether it's this Rosso di Montalcino or even a Chianti. Sangiovese is your friend. It works incredibly well, I think, with tomato sauces. So just keep that in mind next time you're ordering out or making your chicken parm or whatever it is you're making at home. I really hope you guys love this as much as I do, and be sure to check out the episode featuring Troy George with this wine.